Welcome to another episode of the 100K Hairstylist podcast. And ooh boy, we are talking all about how to do an amazing client consultation. So, today is a very special day because I was saying to those of you who were joining me earlier that we launched the Hairstylist Growth Accelerator 2.0, and it is live. People are raving about it. It teaches you all about how to become part of the top 5% of hairstylists so that you can work less hours and make more money. You can check that out at gartnerjames.com/hairstylistgrowth and see what it's all about. But we're also, not only that, but we're also launching a live free training all about how to get your books filled, talking about why it's so slow in the salon and how you can fix it. And stick around to the end because we're going to tell you how you can get that free live mini course. But let's go ahead and jump right on into today's episode about giving an amazing client consultation. So, have you had a client situation where you realized you were not on the same page, and maybe it was just you realized it a little too late? Maybe you've had a correction or what some call an adjustment in the salon that was needed for a particular service that could have been avoided with a thorough consultation. If so, this episode is going to add a ton of value to your career as a hairstylist. You know, delivering a stellar consultation is one of the most important systems to a hairstylist's success. There is no doubt about that. And when you follow and master this system, you will see an immediate improvement in your guest experience. Your guests will be excited to come back and tell all of their friends and family about you and what you do for them. And as a bonus, you will make more of that money, girl. And that's what we're talking about. So, you know, most hairstylists think that they deliver a great consultation. It's a true story. But seem to keep having guests coming back to the salon for adjustments. So something doesn't equate there. If you're having more than the average amount of adjustments in the salon, that means that there's a breakdown somewhere in your consultation to begin with. Or even worse, the guest goes to a different salon to get it fixed and they never see you again as a hairdresser. And that is the ultimate no-no. And this could all be avoided by having a proper consultation in place. Now, after a decade of trial and error, my friend, I have learned the secret to a stellar consultation. And I have taught this to the artists who have trained under me. It has worked to cut down on the corrections in the salon and helped get them booked through referrals. And of course, make more of that money. So today I'm going to share the system with you and all of the secrets involved so that you too can have the same results. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right on into it. So first and foremost, you know, obviously first impressions are going to be key, right? So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you look the part, okay? Do you look like a stylist who is going to be able to provide a stellar consultation and service to that customer? And I'll give you an example. I know we've gone over this in another episode, but if I walked up to a customer and I had a t-shirt on, ripped up jeans, and some flip-flops on, I am immediately giving off the vibe that I don't care much about my appearance, let alone care about their hair. But if I walked up with a nice blazer on, some beautiful black slacks, and some dress shoes, my hair was fixed, and if I wear makeup, my makeup was done on point, and that customer is immediately getting the vibe that, whoa, this person is legit, they are a professional, they know how to take care of me. Now, I know these days, day and ages, we can't really do handshakes, so maybe an elbow bump would be an appropriate situation, or potentially even just a hello and welcome to the salon. My name is so-and-so, and I'm going to be servicing you today. And then asking them how they are and bringing them to their chair. It's just exuding confidence to that customer right from the jump that you know exactly what you're doing. We're going to be servicing you today and helping you with all of your hair needs. And you bring them over to your chair, have them get comfortable, ask if they need anything before you begin. And here's where the good stuff comes into play, okay? The first thing you're going to want to do is ask them an open-ended question. Okay? One of my favorite open-ended questions is, what goals do you have for your hair? Okay, this is much different from what I traditionally hear from hairstylists behind the chair, which is, so we're doing a highlight today. Or, so we're doing a haircut today. Or, what are you looking for today? It's too narrowed in. So we're doing a highlight today. The obvious answer to that question is yes. So by opening it up with a question that is open-ended, we're saying, what goals do you have for your hair? This broadens it beyond just the services that are in your column, and you can really get an understanding of what the customer is looking for. Oftentimes, my friend, you will find that your customers will want something entirely different from what they have booked. And for those of you who are joining me live, give me a little amen, sister, in the comments if you have had a customer come in and who was booked for, say, a color touch-up because that's what they thought they needed. They needed their color touched up. And what they really needed were something completely different from what they had booked for. They needed a highlight with a color touch-up and potentially a gloss. And yes, I'm getting some... Absolutely. Amen. So... you want to have an open-ended question so that we can get the entire story. And, of course, a photo is good. I always ask, too, after they tell me a little bit about what their goals are for their hair, I ask, do you have a photo that gives an accurate portrayal of what you may be looking for so that we can be on the same page? And oftentimes, a photo will speak 1,000 words. Now, I know what you're thinking. They're going to pull up a photo from Pinterest, and it is going to be a photo of somebody that you've seen 100 times. It's that balayage that's been filtered this way and filtered that way and filtered this way. And you really have to be honest with your customer. Now, this photo might not be an accurate portrayal of what that color is, but here's what we can do for you with your hair, right? So, but still, a photo kind of gives you a good idea of placement. It gives you a good idea of lightness and tone that you may be looking for. Another thing to ask your customers are going to be, how did you like your last haircut, or how did you like your last color? Is there anything that we might want to enhance? Okay, this is gold right here, my friends, all right? Because oftentimes people will leave a hairdresser because they didn't feel listened to. They feel like their hairdresser is giving them the same old, same old. How many new customers have you had come into the salon and say, oh, well, I just felt like my hairdresser, wasn't giving me something additional. She was just doing the same thing over and over, and I wanted something different. It's because that person didn't ask. So you want to ask, how was your last cut or color? Is there anything that you might want to enhance or see differently? And this opens that up so that that customer does not have that opportunity to feel like you didn't address their needs. And chances are they'll say, you know what do you think? I'm thinking it's springtime. It might be time to brighten up my highlights a little bit. And you can say, absolutely, here's how I think we should go about that. And it just gives you that availability to be able to meet their needs if they're feeling a little bit stagnant. And I know it's easy for us to kind of get into that rhythm of, oh, I've known this customer and I see this customer so frequently. You get into that pattern of doing the same placement and you know exactly what you're doing on that customer, but you forget to open it up to the potential to do something different or to enhance their look a little bit. And this prevents the whole occurrence of them feeling like they're not getting what they need. Now, with all that said, after you have a plan, you say, I think we've got a plan. If I heard you correctly, you would like, and then you repeat what they've said. Okay, this addresses that number one thing that we talked about, which is the customer not feeling like they're listened to. Okay, if I heard you correctly, here's what you'd like. And this completely circumvents that, and the customer automatically feels like you've listened to them and that you're both on the same page and that everything is ready to roll as far as a plan. So after that's all said and done, you want to make a recommendation because like we've talked about earlier, sometimes the services that they booked and the services that you actually need to do are two totally different things. So when you make a recommendation, you might want to say, so based on what you've shared, I'd recommend this service. Or even, I'd recommend this service, and I'd also recommend that you take home this purple shampoo to keep your hair ashy, because ashy blondes are some of the hardest to maintain. And so I want to make sure that you are able to keep this color fresh at home. So you see what we've done there? We've had the opportunity now to make a recommendation on potential add-on services. While you're booked for a color touch-up, really for me to be able to complete this look, I'd recommend a partial highlight with a color touch-up so that we can cover your gray and give you that dimension that we see here in this image. But additional to that, this is a very complicated blonde. It's a bit ashy. So what we'd want to do is we'd want to make sure that you're taking home the proper at-home care to be able to maintain that cool blonde that you're looking for. So right there is your goal mine, my friend. When you are able to get on the same page, you've created a plan together, and you've made a recommendation that opens it up to adding on services and retail solutions, you have completely increased your income right then and there. I can tell you firsthand that there are many times I will come into the salon and it'll be one of those days, say it's a February, and I only have like 3 customers on the books. But based on what I heard that those customers needed and making a recommendation for add-on services and retail solutions, I've completely filled my entire day with just those 3 customers that were on my books because I listened to their needs and I offered solutions with additional services and retail. Okay, I cannot stress that enough. I hope that this is sort of clicking now and you're understanding that, oh my gosh, I'm not just doing what's booked on the books. I am the professional who are making recommendations and in return increasing my income by adding on additional services and offering retail solutions. So all that said and done, you now understand how to increase your income through a consultation and how to get your guest to rave about you and recommend people over and over and over again. Now, you want to get them excited about their future visits, okay? Oftentimes we have that customer that comes in, they are a level 3 and they want to be a level 9 or 10, right? And we know that on Instagram, this looks like a very short service, or even on YouTube tutorials, this may look like a very short service, but in fact, it actually takes a ton of time, hours and hours to do the service, and potentially more appointments to be able to get them to where they're looking for. So I always say things like, this look is something we can work towards over time. And on your next visit, we would want to book this. And this kind of sets them up to get excited about their future visits and know that you're listening to their goals and you're developing a plan with them. You want to set realistic expectations. Many people will be in the situation where they don't really deliver in the eyes of the customer, and here's why. I'm going to get you as light as we potentially can today when they see that level 3 who's looking to go to that level 10. And what the customer hears is, ooh, they're going to get me as light as they can today. I'm going to look like that picture. And then when you are done with the service and you turn them around in the chair and they're 3 levels lower than where they want to be, they're disappointed and not happy with their look. And oftentimes that leads to an adjustment that is time on your calendar for a redo that's free when you could have set them up for their future appointment and understand the expectations from the get-go. So here's what I'm saying. This is something we can work towards. It's not going to happen in the first visit, and I just want you to be on the same page with me when it comes to that. I want you to have the right expectations when it comes to this look. I just don't want you to be disappointed. Today, you can expect this level of blonde. Is that going to be okay with you? And this allows them to be able to understand, okay, I'm probably going to be a warmer blonde today. On my next visit, we're going to get me lighter. And on the next visit after that, we're going to get me even lighter. And you let them know that this is to protect the integrity of your hair and to also work towards the goals that you have. All right. It prevents that disappointment that the customer might have. And it also allows you to not have to have a redo on your books. It is super critical. So there you have it. Another thing, my friends, that I like to do is I like to set people up for their next appointment by getting them excited for the future. So It's springtime now, right? So people are transitioning their winter colors into their spring colors. And I'll say things like, ooh, spring is coming up. I know that we're doing a color touch up and we're still sticking with this darker look. However, I think on your next appointment, just thinking about you, it might be important to add on a few highlights here and there just to give you that little bit of pop right around your face for spring so that you are all ready for the new season and you have something fresh and different. Again, setting them up to feel like you're enhancing their look always. But additional to that, you're also adding on services for the future and getting them excited for their future appointments, giving you a pre-book on your books. There you have it, my friends. I know that this is going to add a ton of value for you. Save this post or wherever you're hanging out, save this, subscribe, like it, do whatever you need to do so that you can get back to it and start practicing step 1. And when you get the hang of it, add on step 2. Keep adding on your systems until you have this down pat. And then it's as simple as rinse and repeat. Okay? I am rooting for you, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. For all of the things that you might need in regards to the course that I talked about earlier, which is that free training about how to gain new customers fast and why it is so slow in the salon and how you can fix it, you can check it out. And here is the special link. It's www.gartnerjames, that's GartnerJames.com/fill my books. GartnerJames.com/fill my books. Go ahead and check out that free training. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next one. See you later.